John, Nathan, Jeff, and Vaughn. Getting you ready for your day with the information you need. This is KCIM.
8:06 here Monday morning. It's John Ryan, Nathan Cones, and special in-studio guest with us this morning. Haven't had him back for a while. Kuemper President John Steffas. How you doing, John?
Morning, John. Morning, Nathan.
Yeah, great to have you in here. Of course, we'll jump straight into things here. It's Catholic Schools
We're going to put you right under the lamp post, and we're going to beat the answers out of you.
I mean, it's exciting. I don't know about the beating answers out of him. He's trembling over there, John. No, yeah. It's an exciting week for Kuemper. Catholic Schools Week, his celebration. Some big things. We were talking before we jumped on the air here. Just a lot of really cool, exciting things going to be coming up here. Not just this week, but over the next 6 months or so.
Right, yeah. Catholic Schools Week gets kicked off on that Friday. We had our chamber coffee kickoff. We had a great turnout with all the homemade cinnamon rolls, and then we had some of the Kuemper students speak at Mass this Sunday, and now we start Monday through Friday, a special theme day. So yeah, it's called United in Faith and Community for our National Catholic Schools Week this week.
Yeah, this is your 50th Catholic Schools Week, but up 150 years here in Carroll County. So what kind of special planning had to go into that, knowing it's the 50th?
And the 150th of the first, Mount Carmel is where the very first Catholic school was, way back in 1874. So we thought that's an important milestone to recognize in 2024. So this coming fall in September, we're going to piggyback our 150th events onto homecoming in September. So you'll hear a lot more details. We're just starting that planning committee. So 150th, I don't want to say that long word, so I just say 150th.
Sesquicentennial.
Yeah. That's one I always dread spelling, too, when I put something online. It's a sesquicentennial. I have to Google it every time.
I got real familiar with it when Glidden celebrated theirs, and I could probably spell it in my sleep now. But look at the theme days. So you got a theme every single day. Just kind of run us through the schedule real quick.
Right. Today, Monday, it's Monday, 8 o'clock, but we're getting through it. Here we're starting. It's called Celebrating Our Community. The students have dress-down days each day as well, theme days. Tomorrow is Celebrating Our Students. Wednesday, Celebrating Our Nation. Extra patriotism, we're honoring our veterans and having our veterans come in for coffee and rolls Wednesday morning. And Thursday, we have Celebrating Vocations, especially religious vocations. And finally, Friday, celebrating our faculty, staff, and all our volunteers out there.
And so one issue that comes up a lot when it comes to talking about schools, and especially parochial schools, is the ESAs. We're now getting, I believe it's into the second year now, in terms of when that's been available, correct?
Well, this is the first year, and then next year will be...
so this is the first school year. Okay.
Right.
So I'm getting ahead of myself here. But regardless, we're looking at some enrollment numbers.
Right.
Currently, Kuemper pre-K through 12 is sitting at 1234. And we were talking, there's a jump of 50 from last year. So you got to be pretty happy to see that much of a growth from year to year, right?
Right. That's across, all pre-K through 12. So and our retention, keeping our students, is much stronger too. So it's been slight growth, and we've had growth over the last 10 years, a decade, but a very, very slow growth. But nonetheless, we're happy with that stable growth.
Yeah, you said at one point your retention rate was 96%. That has since bumped up, and that makes a big difference. Those little numbers on the margins, you can't ignore those.
Right. We have about 80, 85 kids in a grade. That makes it nice for 44 sections of 20. But second grade is right at 100. So our lower grade numbers are very strong.
Is that posing staffing challenges on your end?
It does. We want to keep our class sizes manageable. In fact, the school board just recently approved another section for second grade, so we'll break those into 5 sections next year.
And so talking about planning ahead and looking forward, another big event for Kuemper is getting kicked off on Wednesday. Of course, that's the Kuemper Ball kickoff. It'll be Wednesday night, but it's a pretty special year for you guys this year.
For another anniversary, the 40th Kuemper Ball. So it's gone by fast. So at the brewery, Wednesday night, we'll be doing the official kickoff, hear about the theme, and get those workers lined up. And we have so many loyal volunteers that get out there and beat the doors, and we have most of our funds raised even before we get to the ball. And it's a lot of fun night at the field house, a lot of fellowship, a lot of reasons to celebrate at the ball.
I assume the cheer couples understand the 40. It's like, oh, man, we got to put together a good one this year.
It'll be a fun one, I think, yeah.
It's kind of wild to think 4 decades of the Kuemper Ball. That's a remarkable milestone.
And I wasn't around in those early ones, but we always honor Bev and Chico Canny, Mark and Betty Schwery. They're still involved with the ball. They were the very first chair couples, and love their stories of putting out index cards on their kitchen tables. And we've come a long ways.
So everybody's kind of focused on the number. What's the number they raise and things like that. But the real impact is in the schools. And talk about what that Kuemper Ball means to Kuemper and what those funds are going for.
Right. It is. It's an important fundraiser. It's also an important spiritual pep rally, I always say, a great fellowship at the field house. But yeah, last year we raised over $700,000. And for instance, this year we finally updated our library furniture at the high school. They've been decades getting new library furniture, and we finally were able to have some wiggle room and do it right. So it also helps with our teacher salary pay to maintain, but a lot of extra special projects that just are not feasible to get that in the annual budget.
You mentioned library furniture, and that kind of my brain turned to the capital campaign that you guys completed. Mm-hmm. I believe that it's all wrapped up as of last year, correct?
The capital campaign is still most of them are 3-year pledges, and most people are around year 2 of paying their pledge. So we're wrapping it up, yes, and we're hoping we can hit that 11 million mark. That's an amazing number. We're right around 10.9 million in pledges and gifts. So yeah, we will officially wrap that up probably next year sometime.
So once that campaign wraps up, will you guys have a dollar amount that you have to work with? Mm-hmm. Will there be some pretty big changes coming to the capital part of Kuemper's school system?
Right. HVAC is a big one. It's a complicated capital project, especially for our old buildings, Holy Spirit and St. Lawrence, getting that new system. New bathrooms. Everybody knows a new bathroom is expensive. You try that in your own home. Mm-hmm. And new flooring throughout the 4 buildings, new windows, so a variety of projects there, yes.
Yeah, there's a never-ending list of projects that you want to get to, but it's just a matter of what you got money for.
Yes. Yep. And then half that campaign is for our teacher salary fund to try to keep our teacher salaries and maintain those.
How's the daycare program going?
Right, Kuemper Care's very strong. You know, we used to have a lot of empty space in our high school, and over the last 10 years, they've just been steadily growing. We've added 3-year-old preschool, very popular, especially with its half-day programs, 3-year-old and 4-year-old. So some of those kids, the parents want that extra half-day childcare, so they just walk down the hall, and Kuemper Cares has a great program in place there, and as well as summer. Summer's been a very popular program, too.
As you mentioned, some of the enrollment figures are going up for the younger grades. At a certain point, are you going to get squeezed for space again?
Perhaps for child care, we do have a cap on our 3-year-old, and you have to have some ratios there for those little ones. So we only have 32 slots open for 3-year-old, and I think there's a small waiting list for that. So child care, as we all know, is an important part of our economy in all our towns.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have, to be getting squeezed for space. I can speak in personal experience. Finding a daycare can be extremely challenging.
Yeah.
So we'll
dive through that as we speak, aren't we?
Yeah, we're locked in. We're good. But it was a lot of sleepless nights in terms of where are we going to go.
Uh-huh.
So
that's important. I just talked to a young alum who moved back to Carroll, and he said, I'm still trying to find childcare. And it's a serious matter, and a lot of towns have it a lot worse than Carroll. So it's an important subject.
Let's go back to Catholic Schools Week here real quick. Tuesday really grabs my attention. There's a ton of fun things for all the kids, the different levels. Like the high school is going to do a talent show, 7th through 8th grade, a trivia contest, dodgeball tournament for the younger kids. But I love the Mornings with Mom. What is that?
Morning, we called it mornings and having a muffin or donut with Mom, Dad coming in, and it's just a little social time before school starts. And the moms come in with on one day, Dad's with the other day. And it's interesting. The moms takes a lot longer time. Dads are in and out, and they're back in their pickup.
That tracks. That 100% tracks.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun, though. The moms and dads, they don't want to miss that, and it's just a short little time with their special for the kid, for the child to have their mom and dad in school that day for a few minutes.
Yeah, it does. They get to show off a little bit, have their mom and their parents, of course, come in. And Wednesday, of course, is your day, kind of the patriotic day where you've got the veterans coming in. I think that's a great addition.
Yeah, that's kind of ties in with the Celebrating Our Nation, and we're going to have all area veterans. Thank you for promoting that on the radio. They're all invited Wednesday morning with their spouses, having coffee rolls in the high school cafeteria at 8:30. And then we're also going to talk more about our special Vietnam veterans who were, we have 4 Kuemper alumni who died in the Vietnam War. And Greg Seaman and Don Bernholtz are leading that effort. We'll have a little display. We're still designing it for Thomas Ascheid, Jerry Feltner, Wayne Gross, and Larry Hagedorn. So we're going to have a special memorial board for those 4.
And then in the final product, the initial plan was to have something set up kind of right there in the entryway to the high school. Is that still kind of the plan as of now?
Right. Or it'll be down the hall a little bit past the trophy cases between the and near the cafeteria. So at a very prominent position.
So this is going to be a huge celebration all week long. There's just different things going on each and every day for all the different levels. That's what I love about it. You guys involve everybody from preschool all the way up to senior high with a lot of these events. But spirits got to be kind of high at Kuemper, man. Boys basketball team riding high. Blankman tells me they're state title contenders.
Jeff, he gets there. He's always at every game, most games, and they've had quite a streak snapped at Lewis Central the other night. But they're on a roll. Yeah.
What does that mean to like students when you have a really successful team out there that's doing that well?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to follow them, but the games are so much fun. You know, the pep band's playing, the kicks dance team's playing, the cheerleaders recognize the fine arts kids when they sing the national anthem. So they're fun community events that keeps a lot of people involved, not just the basketball team, but they're fun to watch.
One other thing I wanted to look at, we're still about a month out from it, but it's always a pretty big event for you guys. That is the annual Kuemper Town Hall for the public to kind of get the down and dirty update on what's going on within the school system. But that's coming up February 19th. So what do you guys have planned for that evening?
Right, Monday the 19th. Hopefully the weather holds up because we've had to shift it the last year or two. But it's at the high school, 6:30. So everyone's invited, and we try to report on our strategic planning process. We're starting a new 5-year process, and we'll have breakout sessions depending on the turnout. Hopefully we have a good turnout. So we'll have smaller breakout sessions where it's a lot easier for Q&A and interactive, like in academics, or what are we doing with our facilities, our finance, our budget. So everyone's invited to that, and again, the breakout sessions is where really people get to the meat of it and have their Q&A.
Have a lot of those ideas and suggestions been put into action?
Some of them have, yes. Last couple of years, we've not had good attendance at the town hall, so we hope we'll have a better turnout on February 19th. And we always emphasize we're always available. I try to get to the parishes in the fall after some of the breakfasts or turkey dinners for question and answers, but this one we're really advertising it's an open town hall meeting.
Yeah. So again, lots of things kind of going on with Kuemper, and this week, of course, Catholic Schools Week. So it's going to be a fun week, busy week for you guys. I mean, there's going to be always something. You're going to be going to some event or another the whole time, right?
Right. Yeah. It goes fast.
Yeah. Talk about what the teachers all do in this one, because I mean they've got to help put all this stuff together and get the kids going. And so it's a fun but challenging week for them, I bet.
It can be, yes. And don't forget the time in the classroom. But it's a nice break for them. They keep things moving, like the muffins for mom and donuts with dad breaks the routine, but they keep things on the level, and it goes fast.
Yeah, celebrating 50 years of Catholic Schools Week, 150 years. Again, later this year, you're going to be kind of marking that in addition to with like the homecoming and things like that.
In September, late September.
All right. So we look forward to all that. John Steffas, once again, joining us here, president of Kuemper this morning. Thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Nathan.
All right. John Steffas, once again, joining us here on KCIM.